Hey everybody, Ben Frederickson here alongside Jeff Gordon for a new virtual edition of Inside Pitch. We're going to get back in the studio soon, but we don't want to wait until then to dive into some Cardinals baseball talk. Regular season games are underway. The Cardinals are 6-7, headed out for their second road trip after opening up at home. Gordo, there's some things to like, some things to be concerned about. Let's start maybe on the positive side. You and I always try to find the sunny side of life. You know,
Sure.
viewers know this. What do you like about this Cardinals team so far to start this season?
Well, two things really jump out at you. One, Mason Wynn seems like he's ready to go. He took to heart what happened last year, the struggles at the plate. Boy, his approach to hitting has been fun to watch. The defense is there. The fielding is what it is. I mean, this is what they're hoping for. This is exactly what they're hoping for. And the other big plus, obviously, Ivan Herrera. You know, this is a guy that did his time, came along as both a catcher and a hitter early on. You know, he's anchoring the offense, which is kind of frightening, which will probably lead to some talk about what we don't like.
No, it's good to point out those young guys. We've talked a lot about Cardinals young players who've maybe struggled with that sophomore slump. Mason Wynn, Von Herrera do not look like guys who are, at least for now, having that issue. I'll expand on your point and to say defense in general. I think this team's defense, it's been a point of emphasis for them. They were not happy with some of the ragged defensive play last season. We've seen lots of ways it's improved. It's not just Mason making spectacular plays and turning incredible double plays. They've committed to playing better center field defense. I think the improvement not only Herrera but Wilson Contreras has made behind the plate, framing pitches. We're seeing a Cardinals defense that if the pitchers keep the ball in the park, which has been a problem for some of the starters, they can steal runs. And you know, you're not seeing Cardinals games where opponents are scoring 10 plus runs like we did early last season. I think the defense has a lot to do with that. And I've been somewhat impressed with the pitching, Gordo. The starting rotation is what it is. They're leading the National League in innings provided when they headed out for this road trip. They're going to have games where it doesn't look great and they might give up too many homers, but it's not necessarily going to mean they're going to have a bad outing the next time. I thought Kyle Gibson's start was a really good example of what a veteran starter does. If he gets rocked, he still stays in the game and he doesn't blow up the bullpen. So I've been kind of quietly impressed with the old guys in the rotation so far. The Cardinals are getting Sonny Gray back. He looked outstanding in his limited debut. He's still kind of working his way back from that hamstring. So I'll give a tentative thumbs up on the rotation, at least so far. So the rotation, the defense, the rotation's up, the bullpen be in place. Now, some not so good things. Go ahead. I guess we're both going to talk about the offense, but
Right.
I'll give you first crack at it.
Well, I mean, obviously, look, Paul Goldschmidt had a step back last year. He wasn't going to be an MVP hitter every year. That was a bit of an outlier. What he managed to do was a remarkable year. Last year was what you'd probably expect. They would like to at least get last year from him again. Had a tough spring, had a tough start to the season. He's of a certain age. Ben Fred, you got to wonder, right? And until he proves otherwise, he's a stand-up guy. He says he's going to work through it. We know he's going to give it every effort, but until Goldie is Goldie again, I guess that's probably the number one thing right now that fans are concerned about now that the starting pitching has been better than what some fans feared.
And Nolan Arenado, Gordo, he leads the team in hits, but where's the power? He's got this kind of almost handcuffed looking two-handed swing going on. It's not his usual one-handed pretty swing. It's not a swing you would teach your T-ball players, but Nolan Arenado had it figured out pretty well to hit home runs, and we haven't seen it this year. The power is way down. If I said going into this tough start to the season schedule-wise that Goldschmidt, Arenado, let's throw Jordan Walker in there. Maybe this is a guy who needs to be growing and his ceiling needs to be lifting, and he's crushing the ball into the ground again like we saw last season before he got sent out for a little bit. If I told you all those guys were going to have a sub 600 OPS, I would think we would be surprised that this team was anywhere close to 500. What can't happen is the Cardinals can't go sacrificing their defense to try to get offense here. Look, here's the deal. Everybody can agree. If Goldschmidt and Arenado don't hit for this team, it's not going to be a good season. It doesn't matter what you do around them. These guys have to be all-star type players. They don't have to be career best seasons, but they got to be all-stars or else you're in trouble. And I think that's kind of where it's at. It's not maybe that fun to break down, Gordo, but if the guys who are paid to hit and produce runs don't do it, then you're kind of in trouble offensively for what should be one of the more potent offenses in the division.
Yeah, you can't look. You can't win games with a bunch of number 2 and number 6 and 7 hitters, right? I mean, Paul is in this modern day stuck in the number 2 spot, but that type of a having table setters and bottom of the order guys, lots of them, that's great. But that heart of the order, right? And you're putting a lot on Nolan Gorman a lot of days. You're putting a lot on Herrera, who's been up to it. You're going to put a lot on Contreras if the 2 big guys don't come through.
So there it's at. The Cardinals are playing better defense. They're getting okay pitching for now. We'll see if it holds. Where's the offense? I don't know if they'll find it against Arizona, Gordo. They're going out, but surely they can find it against the A's. If there's one opponent that should be able to help pick you up, it's playing the Oakland, soon to be Sacramento, soon to be Las Vegas A's. Tough stretch of the season. We knew that. Cardinals aren't quite fully healthy yet. They're hanging in, their heads above water, but they got to get the bats going. Keep it locked at stltoday.com for all of your Cardinals coverage. For Jeff Gordon, I'm Ben Frederickson. We'll talk to you next time.